Hi, I'm Evelyn, your personal therapist and yoga instructor, and this week I'm talking all about sleep, starting with the causes of insomnia and sleep disturbances, and then I'll follow up with a part 2 video that goes through a whole range of strategies that you can try to improve your sleep. So first thing on the list I want to talk about is stress. So we all experience stress, especially in this day and age. Most of us are under pressure to do a lot more in our day and move at quite a fast pace. Things that accumulate over time, such as a workplace or a relationship that has toxicity in it, can creep up on us and we may not be aware that we're under stress. When we are under stress, we're more in our parasympathetic nervous system. So this is our fight or flight system. And we need to also be able to switch into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest system, in order to get to sleep. So if we're constantly under a lot of pressure and our body is under stress, then it's going to be more difficult to move out of the sympathetic nervous system and get to sleep. So we need to remember that our body is or holds a biochemical factory of hormones and processes. The brain and the nervous system are constantly having a conversation and constantly working to keep us in a state of equilibrium. So when we disrupt that and continue to expose the body to toxicity, the body's not going to feel safe enough to relax and move and flip into that parasympathetic nervous system that can allow us to slowly wind down and go to sleep. Following on from that, if we are under those circumstances for a prolonged period of time, we can also create a cortisol interference. Cortisol is one of the main stress hormones that's released when we're under stress. We need it, it's good. We need to be able to quickly move when something's going on that we need to act on quickly. But it's that overexposure and prolonged exposure. If we keep doing that to the body, it may just preemptively create fluctuations in cortisol or give us too much, or it may not stop producing it. Definitely something worth looking into with a trained medical practitioner if you think that that might be going on for you. In terms of our diet, this is really important. So as I mentioned about exposing our body to toxicity, caffeine, alcohol, processed foods. So our processed foods tend to be high in salt, oil, and sugar, and these have low nutritional value and are in high amounts can be highly toxic for the body and create more work for the body to do while it's deprived of the nutrients that it needs. Really important that we nourish our body with whole foods that have high nutritional value that can help support it to getting back to that state of equilibrium. If we are constantly exposing the body to stress and not feeding it the fuel that it needs to combat that stress, then we're putting it under even more strain, and it's no surprise that we would have difficulty sleeping under those conditions. If you drink each night and you also have a diet high in salt, you are potentially dehydrating the body. So that's something that will cause you to wake up after being asleep. So the alcohol may allow you to go to sleep quite easily, but you might find you're waking up and unable to get back to sleep. And that quality of sleep after drinking is not as high as it would be if you weren't drinking and you were hydrated. So you might even find if you're waking up after drinking, you might need to guzzle a heap of water, and that could help you get back to sleep. But ultimately, we want to try and balance it out so that we don't need to do that and we can stay asleep. Another thing that can happen is circadian rhythm interference. This is related to light. So if we have high exposure to artificial light and we're not getting to see any natural light, this can mess with our sleep-wake cycle or our circadian rhythms. So If you work at home all day or in an office all day and you're in front of the computer, so you might have heard before other people talking about digital devices and the light from devices stimulating the brain in a particular way and keeping it alert and awake. And then not getting that natural light can mess with that system and disrupt our sleep. So we can continue to use those digital devices, but in my next video, I'm going to talk about ways we can actually use it to benefit us and not keep us awake and cause insomnia. Something else that might be contributing to insomnia are comorbidities. So depression, anxiety, in my case, post-concussion syndrome, so some other neurological condition. So we want to, the strategies that I'll give in the next video might not be any use if we're not dealing with our comorbidities that are also causing insomnia or sleep disturbance, anxiety, depression. Yeah, we may need to deal with that or anything else with a trained clinician that specializes in that field, and then perhaps sleep or will come more easily, or the strategies that I'll give you might work better if we address other comorbidities. You may have a poor sleep routine and poor sleep hygiene. So this is what I'll talk a lot about in the next video, how to create good sleep hygiene and a good sleep routine to prepare the body for sleep and to enable the body to feel safe and relaxed enough to go to sleep. Things that we might not think of. So I've just talked about light, but lighting in the room or the use of devices in your room when you go to bed. How clean is your room? How inviting is it? What's the color of it? What does it smell like? What sort of sounds do we have going on there? What's the actual bed like? What's the position of the bed in the room? What other furniture is nearby? What do we have on the bed? What color is the linen? How heavy is the linen? How soft or scratchy is the linen against our skin? Do we have the right pillow to support our neck? So things that we may not initially think of, and we want to try to curate the bedroom sleeping space to make it really inviting and enable the body to feel safe to go to sleep there, and obviously your mind as well. So that's all for today. In the next video, I'm going to follow up with those strategies. Thank you for being here, and if you did like the video, please like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.